Fans of Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios now have a year-round destination to delight them, thanks to Universal Horror Unleashed. Nestled in Las Vegas Area 15, the new haunt is a spectacle that marries the best of previous Horror Night offerings with original performances as well as top-notch food and beverage options that all adhere to the spooky theme. Last month, Screen Rant and several other media outlets took the journey to Sin City in order to experience Universal Horror Unleashed firsthand, where we were greeted by Jack the Clown and his deranged sidekick Chance. The terrifying and terrific duo provided a tour of the location in between threatening and cajoling guests, after which they put on a show that traveling audiences can see once they enter the premises. See below for a preview of the available haunted houses and a rundown of the immersive terror zones, live entertainment, and restaurants on site. The end result came out of a 3.5-year-long process, according to show director Nate Stevenson, and that passion for the craft comes through in every attraction's attention to detail. Universal Monsters is a classic experience that's not to be missed. While it doesn't contain the most scares, per se, Universal Monsters is a highlight of the Horror Unleashed experience. Between the countless homages to horror films throughout the decades and the full-on scenes playing out before your eyes, this haunted house feels like its own movie. Which, given Universal's history in horror cinema, is particularly fitting. Nate Stevenson: "We really have this incredible horror legacy at Universal, going all the way back to the classic monsters that really pulled horror movies into the mainstream. And not only that, we really set the foundation for what horror folks were going to be generationally for the next century. And we didn't stop there. Guests have the opportunity to follow Van Helsing as he hunts down various monsters who have staked their claim on the public consciousness, from Count Dracula and the Mummy to Frankenstein's monster and the Bride. The Exorcist: Believer will make your face your demons." Based on the newest Exorcist film from Blumhouse, The Exorcist: Believer takes guests through a linear storyline similar to the 2023 hit movie. Visitors experience Angela and Catherine's possessions and subsequent exorcisms, and even come face-to-face with horrific demons. Special effects and talented actors work together to recreate scenes straight out of the movie that center each guest in an immersive nightmare. Part of what makes this haunted house, and all the houses in Horror Unleashed, unique is the pulsed entry system, which ensures that only a few guests can enter an attraction at a time. Thus, the scares are always directed at a small group rather than a large crowd, creating an intimate and personalized scare that is sure to result in more effective screams and thrills. Assistant Director Del Weingar gave a little more insight into the personalized and immersive activities at Universal Horror Unleashed. Del Weingar: "It's my job to really build upon our legacy, but also to evolve it." How do these characters evolve? When you return to Universal Horror Unleashed, what's new? How have these characters that have been contained in this space evolved in this space? Has it made them go crazy? You shouldn't just come back and have the same interaction. You should have an extended interaction with these characters. We're looking at how we can build upon the space and create interactive moments so that, when you are searching for things, you find things. Things come alive with technical elements and innovations that Universal is known for. We want to keep that innovation strong here, to continue that legacy and that innovation that is known for the Universal brand. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a nightmare come alive. Perhaps the most frightening haunted house of the four, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based on the 1974 classic film and similarly follows the events. Guests encounter Leatherface, his family, and their victims as they make their way through the rotting farmhouse in the heart of Texas. Fans will get to experience the titular chainsaws firsthand, pass by the haunting graveyard, and even witness iconic scenes from the movie play out as if they were a character in it. Scarecrow: The Reaping is as scary as it is original. While the other three haunted houses are based on existing properties, Scarecrow: The Reaping is an original story that takes place in the 1930s. As the Dust Bowl rages on, guests walk through yet another dilapidated farmhouse, only this one has been taken over by scarecrows and other creatures hellbent on revenge against the farmers who failed their crops. Already a fan-favorite attraction at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando and Hollywood, Scarecrow: The Reaping absolutely deserves permanent placement in Las Vegas thanks to its unique storytelling and immersive scares that will attack all your senses. Scares lurk around every corner on the floor of Universal Horror Unleashed. What sets Universal Horror Unleashed apart from its Halloween-themed counterparts at the studio's respective parks is the immersive design, which doesn't let up even after guests escape from a haunted house. The very first thing we set out to do was create the very first ever year-round horror experience that Universal has ever done, or that exists in the world, Stevenson explained. But not only that, we wanted to create the most immersive, most interactive horror experience that Universal has ever created. Of course, that's a tall order, given how beloved the Halloween Horror Nights already are, but that's where the scare zones come in. ensuring there is no respite from fear. You can only be so immersive before somebody walks around a corner and sees a roller coaster with people having fun and screaming, Stevenson revealed, referring to the setup at Universal Parks. The very first thing we realized is this cannot be an overlay on something else. Universal Horror Unleashed Las Vegas needs to be that from every brick, built from the ground up, from the outside to the inside. And that's all it can be. It can't exist with something else. That's the very first big decision to be made, is we got to build this thing from the ground up. The location at Area 15.